Ladies and gentlemen, life has a beautiful way of teaching us lessons. Sometimes those lessons come wrapped in love, and sometimes they come wrapped in pain. One of the most powerful realizations you can have is that not everyone deserves the softness of your heart. When you give all of your kindness, all of your patience, all of your energy to people who misuse it, you end up drained, broken, and questioning your worth. There comes a point in life when you must stand tall and declare, I will not be soft to everyone. I will protect my energy, my peace, and my value. This is not about being cruel, it is about being wise. This is not about losing your kindness, it is about learning where your kindness truly belongs. And today, I want to share with you 5 powerful strategies that will help you rise above the habit of being soft to everyone and instead channel your strength with purpose. Number 1, value your worth. The way people treat you is often a reflection of how you treat yourself. If you constantly give without limits, they will expect it. If you never demand respect, they will never offer it. If you act as if your time, energy, and emotions are limitless resources for others to consume, they will keep consuming without hesitation. That's not cruelty, that's human nature. And if you don't change the standard, nothing will change in how they see you. Valuing your worth means making a decision that you are not disposable. It means reminding yourself that your time is just as valuable as anyone else's. It means believing that your presence is not a favor someone does for you, but a gift you bring into any space you enter. And once you begin to live from that belief, people feel it. They sense it. They either adjust to treat you differently or they exit your life completely. This isn't about arrogance, it's about alignment. Arrogance is thinking you're above everyone. Alignment is knowing you are not beneath anyone. It's about no longer begging for scraps of love when you deserve a seat at the table of respect. It's about no longer apologizing for asking for basic decency. It's about recognizing that you do not have to prove your value to anyone. You are valuable because you exist. And here's the truth, when you value yourself, people who don't respect that will fall away. And that's a blessing. Yes, it might feel lonely at first, but that loneliness clears the space for healthier relationships to come in. People who truly see you, who truly appreciate you, who truly honor what you bring into their lives will stay. And those are the people you want around you. The moment you start valuing your worth, your standards change. You stop entertaining people who play with your emotions. You stop giving time to people who only take. You stop bending yourself to fit into places that were never designed for you. You begin to live on your terms. And that shifts the entire direction of your life. When you truly value your worth, the quality of your life rises. Your relationships become healthier. Your peace becomes stronger and your energy becomes sacred. And that is the power of finally deciding that you are no longer soft for everyone. You are strong for yourself. Number 2, stop pleasing, start living. The urge to please everyone is one of the main reasons people stay soft. You don't want to upset anyone. You don't want to be disliked. You don't want to feel rejection. So, you bend. You say yes when you mean no. You smile when you want to scream. You carry everyone else's burdens, hoping they'll notice your sacrifice. But the truth is they rarely do. Instead of gratitude, you receive expectation. Instead of appreciation, you get silence. And that cycle will never end until you decide to break it. Pleasing others is not kindness, it's a prison. You think you're keeping peace, but what you're really doing is betraying yourself. Because every time you put someone else's comfort above your own truth, you abandon your authenticity. And every time you abandon your authenticity, you chip away at your identity. The more you please, the less you live. Living, on the other hand, is different. Living means doing what feels right to your soul, even when it offends someone else. Living means saying no without explaining yourself. Living means choosing paths that others may not understand, but you know are right for you. And that takes courage, because people will criticize you for it. But the price of freedom is always criticism, and the price of pleasing is always regret. You get to choose which one you can live with. Think about this. How many times have you said yes to something you hated just to avoid conflict? How many times have you stayed silent while someone crossed a line just to avoid being too difficult? How many times have you molded yourself into what someone else wanted, only to lie awake at night wishing you hadn't? That's the cost of pleasing. It steals your life in small pieces until there's nothing left of you. The truth is, people will talk whether you please them or not. They will criticize you whether you bend for them or not. They will misunderstand you whether you sacrifice yourself or not. So why betray yourself for approval that doesn't last? Why shrink yourself for acceptance that doesn't satisfy? Why stay soft for people who won't even remember your sacrifices tomorrow? When you stop pleasing, you start living. And when you start living, you take back your power. You no longer exist in the shadows of other people's expectations. You rise into the light of your own truth. That is not selfishness. That is self-respect. And that is the kind of strength that changes everything. Number 3, boundaries are not cruel. One of the greatest lies people are taught is that setting boundaries makes you harsh, selfish, or unkind. From a young age, you're told to be nice, to share, to give, to compromise, even if it costs your peace. And so you grow into someone who feels guilty every time you say no. But here's the truth. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are clarity. They don't push people away. They show people where you begin and where they end. Without boundaries, you lose yourself piece by piece until you don't even recognize who you are anymore. Boundaries are the lines that protect your emotional health, your time, your energy, and your identity. They are the shield that separates your peace from other people's chaos. Without them, you're left wide open, vulnerable to anyone who wants to take advantage of your softness. And make no mistake, there are people who will take and take until there's nothing left. If you don't draw the line, they never will. And then you'll blame yourself for giving too much, when in reality, you never learned how to stop. The beauty of boundaries is that they don't destroy relationships, they refine them. People who value you will respect your boundaries without question. They will understand that your no doesn't mean rejection, it means self-respect. But people who get angry at your boundaries are the ones who were benefiting from your lack of them. They were happy with you being soft because your softness gave them unlimited access to you. When you pull that back, their frustration reveals their true colors. So, you must ask yourself, am I afraid of losing people? Or am I afraid of losing myself? Because every time you refuse to set boundaries, you choose the comfort of others over your own well-being. And in the end, you're left with resentment, exhaustion, and a quiet anger at yourself for not speaking up. Boundaries aren't about building walls, they're about building doors that you control. You get to decide who enters, how long they stay, and how much space they occupy. That is your right. The truth is, people respect what you respect. If you respect your boundaries, they will too. If you show that your time is valuable, they'll think twice before wasting it. If you demonstrate that you won't tolerate disrespect, they'll either treat you better or they'll leave. Either way, you win, because your peace is no longer up for negotiation. Boundaries are not cruel. They are acts of love, love for yourself and love for the relationships that matter. Because only when you protect your space can you show up fully present, fully alive, and fully strong. Without boundaries, your kindness is abused. With them, your kindness becomes powerful. Number 4, protect your energy. Your energy is the fuel of your life. It is what powers your creativity, your resilience, your focus, and your growth. But too often, people waste it on things and people that don't deserve it. You spend hours listening to complaints, solving problems that aren't yours, pouring love into people who never refill you. And then you wonder why you feel empty, drained, exhausted. It's because you've allowed everyone unlimited access to your energy, as if it were infinite. But it's not infinite, it's sacred, and it needs protection. Protecting your energy begins with the word no, not the hesitant, apologetic no that comes with a long explanation. A firm, unapologetic no. Every time you say yes to something you don't want, you're saying no to yourself. And every time you say no to something that drains you, you're saying yes to yourself. That shift changes everything, because when you stop scattering your energy, you begin to direct it where it matters most. Think of your energy as a bank account. Every person, every activity, every thought is either a deposit or a withdrawal. When you're soft to everyone, the withdrawals never stop. You're giving without receiving. But when you protect your energy, you start managing it like the priceless currency it is. You give to people who uplift you, who encourage you, who make deposits into your account. And you distance yourself from those who drain, demand, and deplete. Protecting your energy is not about isolation, it's about preservation. It's about realizing that you cannot show up strong in your life if you're running on empty. It's about recognizing that not every battle is yours to fight, not every problem is yours to fix, not every person is yours to heal. You can care without carrying. You can love without losing yourself. You can support without surrendering your energy. And here's what happens when you protect your energy. You become sharper, clearer, and stronger. You begin to attract people who value your presence, not just your usefulness. You create space for peace instead of chaos. You build the mental clarity to focus on your goals instead of being pulled into distractions. Protecting your energy doesn't make you selfish, it makes you unstoppable. When you finally decide that your energy is sacred, you stop giving it to just anyone. You stop wasting it on gossip, on negativity, on people who only take. You start directing it to your growth, your dreams, your peace, and your purpose. That is where your life transforms. Not when you're soft to everyone, but when you're strong enough to protect your energy. Number 5, strength is silent, not softness. Most people confuse softness with strength. They think that staying quiet when disrespected is strength. They think tolerating pain in silence is strength. They think forgiving endlessly without accountability is strength. But that's not strength, that's surrender. True strength is not softness for everyone. True strength is silent confidence. It is the calm knowing that you don't need to prove yourself, beg for respect, or explain your worth. It is the quiet decision that you will not be walked over. Strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It whispers when you walk away from drama instead of engaging. It whispers when you choose not to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. It whispers when you stop chasing and start attracting. And that whisper is more powerful than any loud display, because it comes from inner certainty, not outer validation. When you stop being soft to everyone, you don't lose your kindness, you redefine it. Your kindness becomes a choice, not an obligation. You no longer feel forced to give it away just to be accepted. You give it where it's respected, where it's appreciated, where it creates mutual growth. That is the strength of discernment, the ability to know the difference between where to pour your heart and where to pull it back. Silent strength also shows in how you respond to life. Instead of reacting to every insult, every betrayal, every disappointment, you stand steady, you stop proving, you stop defending, you stop explaining. Because strength is not about controlling others, it's about controlling yourself. It's about having the discipline to walk away from anything that costs your peace. And the most beautiful part of silent strength is this: it doesn't need recognition. You don't need applause for saying no. You don't need validation for walking away. You don't need approval for protecting your heart, because true strength comes from within. And once you have it, the opinions of others lose their power over you. Strength is not about being soft for everyone, it's about being solid for yourself. It's not about keeping the peace by losing yourself, it's about keeping your peace by standing firm. That kind of strength is silent, but it is undeniable. And when you carry it, the world treats you differently, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. In the end, life is too short to be endlessly soft for people who misuse your heart. The truth is, not everyone deserves your patience. Not everyone deserves your kindness. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to you. And the sooner you understand that, the stronger, freer, and happier you become. Being soft to everyone doesn't make you strong, it makes you breakable. But when you stand tall, when you set boundaries, when you protect your energy, when you know your worth, you transform into someone unshakable. So stop being soft to everyone. Be kind, but not a doormat. Be loving, but not blind. Be patient, but not at the expense of your peace. Your strength is not in how much you can tolerate, it's in how much you can walk away from. Protect yourself, respect yourself, and rise into the version of you who refuses to be walked over. That is where your power lives. That is where your freedom begins.